you doing? What's going on? Welcome to the replay and welcome to Daily Fuel. My name is Bobby and I am your host on this Quantum Odyssey. Quantasy. What's up, Hector? Hector says, wah up. Wah up. How you doing, buddy? Nice to see you. Good to see you live. If you're watching in the replay, then do me a favor, let me know you're in the replay and put a hashtag of some kind. Hashtags are nice. It makes me happy and excited to see people in the replay. I get all like, ooh, so-and-so is watching. That's nice. If you're assuming your name is so-and-so, probably it's not. But if you're watching live, then let me know that you're here. Also, you can comment while you're live. You can comment the whole time that I'm talking. I'm going to run through my spiel. I'm going to ignore the comments, and then when I'm done with my spiel, I'm going to come back to the comments and I'm going to read them. And that's usually my favorite part of the show. It's usually where most of the action happens. So far, we have one comment, and I've already read it. So let's just give it another. I said all of that really fast, only a minute and a half in. Usually I wait till at least the 2-minute mark. Hector says, what's up? Because usually I have a whole bunch of greetings to go through, and today I do not. See, this is what happens when I do these things early. I always feel like, I should do it early so I get it in. But then it's like there aren't that many people live. Is this live, says Ryan Shepard? No, you're in the replay, Ryan. It's not live. Yes, it's live. You're live. That would be, I assume you know that I'm being sarcastic, but maybe you don't. And I don't know you. Maybe you are like, oh, Bobby said I'm not live. He called me by name and said I am not live. Good afternoon, Bobby, and all who are joining live and in the replay. Oh, that's cool. Hello, Kirsten. Nice to see you. And Ryan is an intelligent man, and he got my joke. Good. Let us begin then, and we can get going. You still need action. You still need it. You still need action. You know, this one, I was reminded of a story. I don't know if it's a joke or a story. It's an anecdote. It's not like a true story or anything like that. But it's I guess it's like a joke, but it's like a parable joke, like to tell. And the way that I heard it was, like this guy was trapped in a house, and then the flood, the tides were coming in, and everything was being flooded, and he scrambles to his roof to escape the rising waters, and he's up on his roof, and somebody on a rowboat comes by and says, "Hey, get in the rowboat," and he's like, "Nah, God will save me, or the universe will save me, or whatever you believe in will save me." And the rowboat's like, whatever, and he goes. And then another thing comes by, like a helicopter or something. He's like, "Hello, you get in the helicopter, right?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm good. The universe will get me. I've already thought it, and it's gonna happen. So don't worry about me. I'm good." And so the helicopter's like, "Whatever," and flies away. And then the water rises up. The guy drowns. And so the guy goes to like St. Peter's gates, if you're into that, and that's the story. And he's like, "What the fuck?" He's like, "I thought, And St. Peter's like, "Yeah, dude, we sent you a rowboat and we sent you a helicopter, and you shooed them away. And after that, we were kind of out of vehicles for you." So the moral of the story is that yes, we dream it, yes, we imagine it, yes, we create it in the unknown, but no, we don't just sit there and wait for it to happen. There is action that we have to take. And today I want to talk about the 3 different kinds of action that we might take, and 2 of them that I suggest we not, and 1 that I suggest we do. And here's how it goes. And Kelly says, "Hooray, I made it kinda." Oh, if you're late, I'll start over. I don't mind. I don't think anybody else minds. We're not even live. Anyway, get off my screen. Okay, good. I'm glad you made it. So, the fix is in, is what I said yesterday. The fix is in. All you have to do is dream it. All your job is to dream it and imagine it completely, and then get out of the way and let the universe create it and deliver it to you. And all of that is true except for the part that you may have inferred from that I don't have to do anything. I don't have to sit. I can just sit on my couch and do nothing and until it comes. And I wouldn't suggest that. I'm not saying that it won't happen, but you're probably not going to be inspired by your inner being or by source or soul or God or whatever you like to do that. You're probably going to be inspired to do other things. And so I'm kind of giving away the good action here. But let's start with one of the negative actions. So there are 3 kinds of actions that we could take once we have this amazing dream in our heads. And if you're like me, you've probably got like dozens of them, right? The first is ego action. The ego wants to figure out, oh, this is a really cool dream. How can I make this? And we talked about this in yesterday's The Fix Is In one. How can I make this? How can I do this? And the ego tries to start figuring it out, like how to do it and when it can be done by, based on things you already know. You know, we're trying to affect an outcome using our 3D resources that we have at hand. I already know kind of how to do this, and maybe I can build it this way, or maybe I can create it this way, or maybe I can call that person and they'll give it to me, or whatever the thing is, right? It's hard, man. It's really hard, and it's exhausting. And eventually, when you're realizing that either A, it doesn't work at all, or B, you get some convoluted chicken McNugget version, right? We talked about that yesterday. You get this lame version of your dream that's really diluted and really not what you expected at all. And so finally you just say, I did that. What? This is too hard. Why am I doing this? Why am I trying to have a life focusing on my art? I could just go work at my friend's place. You know, I could get that job they offer me. I could do that thing. I could make all this money. I could blah, 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 blah. Right? It's too hard because we don't have the resources at hand to do what's necessary to create the dream the way we envision it. We have the resources in our hearts and our minds to envision it. We don't have the resources to actually make it all by ourselves. So that's the first kind of action. Don't take that kind of action. The second kind of action is the one I suggest you do take, which is called inspired action. Now, once you've dreamed it and once you've brought it into the quantum and once you've let the unknown, your inner being, build it for you and create it and put all the, as Abraham says, put all the cooperative components aligned together. Once that is going, which is pretty instantaneous, your job is to be aware of your connection to your higher self so that you know, ooh, I'm getting the inspiration to do this now. And then you go and do that, whatever the hell it is. It could seem really big, it could seem really small. That's the second time today somebody mentioned that name. Maybe I should call that person today. Well, now you're thinking you should call it. You probably should, you know? See, the energy work that we do is going to help us stay connected so that we are understanding the signals that we're getting. You're not going to get an email, ding, like, hello, this is your inner being. Please call Joe today at 4 o'clock. He's expecting your call. You're not going to get that. I don't know why. I don't know why. It would be really nice sometimes to get like these clear messages like, hello, pick up this thing and put it over here today. You know, like that would be nice. Instead, we get like hints, we get ideas, we get inklings, we get like, well, maybe that's it. Maybe I could do that. You know, but then what does our ego do? Our ego goes, well, you did that once before and it didn't work. And so-and-so said that didn't work for them. And so why would you try it, you know? And so the problem becomes that now we've got ego action and inspired action at odds with each other because the ego is trying to figure out, like, how can I do some grand thing to make this entire dream happen today? And your inspired action is like, wow, you should go for a walk. How is that going to get me to where I want to go? Well, your inner being knows that if you go for that walk today, then you're going to really like it and you're going to be inspired to go for walks every day. And then on the 57th day that you go for a walk, you're going to bump into the guy that invests in your thing. It's like, but you don't know that. You could never make that up and figure that out here as this. Only this can figure that out, you know? So sometimes the inspired action just doesn't seem very inspiring. It doesn't seem like this amazing, like, yes, I'm going to build it like this. Now the inspired action just might be like, yeah, maybe I should buy some new paint today, or maybe I should stretch some canvases, or maybe I should get some new art material, or maybe I should make a phone call to so-and-so and just shoot the shit for a while. You know, it's like one small step at a time until all of a sudden you realize, wow, they added up quick and suddenly I'm here. Now, as you can tell, the ego action and the inspired action are going to be at odds with each other a lot, which leads me to action number 3, which I also don't suggest because it's really annoying. It's what I call inaction action. Inaction action. Inaction, one word, inaction, like no action, right? Inaction action. What does that mean? It means doing nothing, but not just doing nothing because you're so confused, you don't know what the fuck to do. You're like, well, first you might be like that guy in the beginning of the story, the guy on the roof, right? Well, the universe will just do it for me, so I won't do anything because I'm afraid that if I do anything, that's just my ego. So I'm not going to do a damn thing. I'm going to do nothing. But meanwhile, your inner being is like, go to the store or call that person or get in the helicopter, and you're just like, nope, I'm not doing any of that stuff because that might be my ego telling me to do that, and so I'm not going to do nothing. And your inner being is like, well, I keep sending you crap to do, but you're not doing any of it. I'll keep sending it to you. I got all day, but you are on a clock, So the other reason we might get stuck in inaction action is because we can't tell the difference. We can't tell, wait, is this the ego telling me to do this thing? Or is this my inner being telling me to do this thing? Am I being inspired to call this person? Or am I doing it because my ego just thinks, well, if I call them, maybe they'll pay me some money, or I'm kind of feeling desperate today and now I can't tell the difference. That's a tough one. I've been in that one, and that one comes along for me personally when I'm in a position in my business, say, where it's like I'm realizing my clients aren't getting back to me. I have 3 people say that owe me money, right? Or 4 people that owe me money, right? And none of them are paying me. I can't get any of them on the phone, blah, 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 right? And then one day I'm sitting here thinking to myself, maybe I should call so-and-so today. And now I'm wondering, like, wait a minute. Am I being inspired to call so-and-so today? Or am I just thinking like, maybe I should call so-and-so today? Hey, can you pay me? It's like, am I just being desperate? Or am I literally being inspired to call so-and-so? And now I just can't tell. So what I do in those situations where I can't tell, inspired or ego, I'll just go and meditate for a little while and relax, and then I'll see. Because if once I relax a little bit, then I can kind of tell a little bit more. The idea here is that if you're doing your energy work all the time, I say every day, but don't beat yourself up if you miss a day or you miss a week. Just get back into it, and do it as often as you can. But if you're doing your energy work with some kind of consistency, what happens is you become more in tune to your inner being's messaging system. You start to get it. You start to understand the signs from your source compared to the signs from your ego. Well, I know what it feels like when my source is telling me something, because I'm like, does that feel like a nice thought? It kind of does. That's a nice thought. Okay, well then go with it. But or is it your ego thought? Like, am I doing this because it's a nice thought, or am I doing this because I kind of feel desperate for the results? And if you're doing your energy work consistently, it becomes easier to be self-aware enough to tell the difference. So those are the kinds of actions you need to take. You're going to make it. You're going to create it in your mind and your heart. You're going to allow the universe to build it for you. And then the universe is going to give you hints. Now do this. Now take this. Now move it over here. Now call this person. And now do this. And our job is to be the little robot that does it and keep dreaming it. Keep dreaming it. The dream is what keeps the signals coming. If you notice, here's a really easy way to tell the difference between the inspired action and the ego action. When you're getting the inspired action, you're still dreaming the dream. When you're getting the ego action, you're worried that the dream isn't going to happen. You're worried that it's just never going to happen, that it's taking too long, that it's too big, that people think it's stupid, that whatever, right? If you're thinking things like that, if your dream has gone, then you're taking ego action. But if you're like, hey, maybe I should call that guy, but you're still feeling that dream and that big dream, then call that guy. All right, let's see what you people have to say. What do the riffraff think? Ryan is live. Kelly is here. Oh, says Kirsten, I didn't expect that plot twist. I thought his manifestation was going to be just be, but the universe is delivering it in its own unique way. Yeah, the manifestation is always going to come in a way you don't expect, but it's going to come through you. It's not going to be delivered by an Amazon Prime truck. You know what I mean? I mean, it could literally be that way, but you probably had to order it first. Amazon doesn't deliver things that you didn't order. And if they did, you should send it back because that's theft. But you know what I'm saying, right? It's like there's still something that you have to do. It's going to come through you. We're here to make stuff. We're here. We have hands to put things together. We have eyes to see things. We did this on purpose. If we didn't need our five senses, and if we didn't need to be here physically to do anything, then we would just dream from out there and just make it out there and just do that. We were already doing that. We were like, it's boring. Let me see if I can dream it and then make it happen. Except we want to make it happen, and that's not how it works. We can't decide how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do the doing once my inner being tells me this is the doing, and now this is the doing, and now this is the doing. But half the time we're not listening. We're so focused on trying to figure out, how do I do this? That they're telling us and we don't hear it. So shut up and listen. Action, action, action. Hi, Robin. How are you? Not just action, but inspired action. Yes, exactly. Another for the fridge. Oh, Robin, your fridge. Are you able to get to your fridge and open it to get food out, or is it just a pile of Post-it notes that are like a foot out into space at this point? Robin is giving Kelly a thumbs up. Inspiration action is collaboration with the universe to create the outcome. Co-creating, just go with the flow. Yes, I like how you put that. That's a really, really good way to put it. Inspiration action is collaboration with the universe. Ego action is, no, I got this. I'll do it myself because I know how to do it better than you, right? That's what ego action is. Inspired action is, let's do this together and it's fun. And that's when you're in the flow, right? You don't paint a painting or make your art I always say painting, but I'm not just talking to painters. I'm talking to all of us. Whatever your art is, you don't just make your art by thinking about it. You have to put the paint on the canvas. You have to put your hands on the clay. You have to put your mouth to the microphone and sing or speak. You have to take paper to pen and move things around to make shapes that are letters and words. You got to do it. You know what I mean? It's got to be there. But you know the difference between trying, say you're writing a poem. Have you ever written a poem where you're trying to write it from your ego point of view, and you're just like, you're sitting there for 2 hours and you want to take every piece of paper on earth and throw it into the fire because this is just sucks and nobody can do this? And compared to that, have you ever written a poem where you're just like, the words are just flowing out of you and you're like, where is this coming from? I'm not even looking and the words are just coming out of my pen. We've done both. We've all experienced both. The first one is bad. The second one is good. That's the one we should go for. We could do that with everything, right? Make your life the way you make your art, in the flow. That includes the action. Even if it falls in your lap, you have to pick it up. Exactly, right? The helicopter showed up to the guy on the roof. He's like, nah, I'm good. What did he think? He was going to find a helicopter in his pocket? No. You know what I mean? If you missed the beginning, you don't know what I'm talking about. But it's just imagine that we were talking about helicopters and you know what I mean. That was really good, Ryan. Thanks for that. Even if it falls in your lap, you have to pick it up. Even if that's the action. Sometimes we think the universe is just going to ding dong, open the door, and holy shit, here's the thing I wanted. But you still got to open the door and put it into the house. Maybe that's the action. Getting stuck in inaction action. I never heard of that one. I made up that phrase today. Inaction action. I just made that up. Do you like it? I like it. How to tell when it's inspired action versus ego action. Well, are you asking me or just repeating me? I think you're just repeating me. Ooh. Ooh. Are you singing? Ooh. Do your source whisper voice. Ego says should, but source is that supportive, confident whisper. Ah, yeah. Ego says, oh, you should call it. Thank you, Robin. Kirsten. Thank you, Kirsten. Ego is like, dude, you should do this thing today. Or you shouldn't have done that. Why'd you do that? That was dumb. Maybe you should call this person and maybe they'll have the money that you need or the thing that you need or they can hook you up with that thing you're looking for, right? Ego is going to be like should. Source, do the source whisper. Source is just like, it's a nice day outside. Go for a walk. Why don't you look at your iPhone and see what time it is? The source isn't even going to tell you to call someone. They're just going to tell you to look at the pretty wallpaper for a minute. I don't mean it's all frou-frou stuff, but yeah, sometimes the inspiration is hard, tangible action, but sometimes it's not, and we're always looking for source to say, like, write these words and then put it on this kind of paper and then mail it to this person at this address, and they will be like, wow, we have to have you in our magazine, or whatever. I'm making shit up, but you know what I'm getting at. It's like we also want source to tell us. This is another way to tell ego versus source, right? Ego is going to be like, maybe you should call this guy, because if you call him, then he'll have that thing that you need, and then if you have that thing that you need, then you can have that other thing that you need, and then with both those things, then you could build that other big thing that you're dreaming about, and then you could get all these people to do. Ego is gonna like make up an entire laundry list of first this and then this and then this and then that thing and then this thing and then this thing and then that thing, right? And on and on and on and on and on. Your inner being is just gonna be like, why don't you call that guy? That's it. No, maybe he'll be right. You might get the inspiration to call him, and he doesn't even answer, and you're just like, that was weird. I really felt like I was inspired to call him. He didn't even answer. But you don't know that he's out right now, but you got him at just the moment where he saw your call and was like, I can't call right now, but I'm so glad that she called me because I've been dying to talk to her about this thing. I'll call her back tomorrow, right? You don't know this, but your ego has to know everything. Well, he didn't answer, so maybe that means he doesn't like you. Hey, you shouldn't have called. Oh, ego, you're a pain in the ass. Facebook user, I just feel connected with the source. Who's this? This is Nicolina. Hello, Nicolina. How are you? Yeah, well, that's the point here, Nicolina, is to feel connected with source and to do the work all the time to understand that you have this connection is never gone. You always have it, right? The problem is that sometimes we go, wait a minute, be quiet. You're not exciting enough. Let me talk to my ego voice over here, because the ego voice is telling me how to get all the way to the finish line. You're just telling me how to take one step. That's boring. I can take a step like that, whoop-de-doo. I want to get to the finish line, and the ego is telling me all the things I should do to get there. And so we listen to that. And then when that doesn't work, we come back over here. We're like, fine, what do you got? Oh, that was good. That worked. Kelly. Oh, boy. Can't quit my job until I close on a mortgage. Can't really add more clients until my hours are more available, and my ego is terrified of making a bad decision or commitment, so I just have been whirlwinding in uninspired, forced action with feelings of lack and mistrust in my choices. I need a timeout, but sometimes I take that time out to not do a refreshing or connecting version of a timeout, more like that inaction burnout type of timeout. Yeah. I need to commit to giving myself that time of quiet to relax into that inspired action and build up my spirit against the shitty self-concepts. So what she's saying is that her ego is saying, well, you can't do this until you do this, and that won't happen until this happens, and that can't possibly happen while you're doing this first thing. So now you've got this circle of things that you're doing, and none of them can be stopped until they're all stopped, and you can't stop any of them because they're all going. It's a convoluted... That's why they call it a rat race or the hamster wheel thing, right? Your source is just like, chill out, relax. Your ego can't possibly imagine how you're going to get there, because it's going to be one simple step at a time. And right now, you can't tell the difference between what we're saying and what your ego is saying. So the best thing to do is just go and relax, go meditate, go turn off your brain for a little while. That's not inaction action. That's actually inspired action. When you're feeling like I need to just chill and do nothing for a little while until I can get connected better, until I can hear that signal better, that's not inaction action. That's inspired action. That's being inspired to take no action right now. Inaction action is, I can't tell the difference, so I just give up. I'm not doing anything. I'm not even doing this anymore. I quit this, and I quit you, and I'm doing this now. That's inaction action, Christina's here. Hey, how are you? Hey, Bobby. Hey, everyone. Showed up late. Will watch the replay. Okay, that's cool. I find more answers in silence. Yeah, usually. That's another good one, Ryan. The ego is really loud and your inner being is really quiet. You got to be really quiet. Your inner being whispers, your ego screams, right? Your ego is just that non-stop thing going on in here. I should do this, but that wouldn't work because of this. But if I did this, and you end up going in circles. There are no circles with your inner being, with your source, because it's silent, it's quiet. You just get a feeling. You know, it'd be nice. It would be really nice if I just talked to so-and-so and asked. I mean, I'm trying to figure out, my ego over here is trying to figure out how to make this happen and make that happen and get them to give me this and get that to happen. And what if I just went over there and asked, hey, do you want to do this thing? But they might say yes, you know, or they might say no, but, you know, we could do this instead, or that's not a good fit for us, but you could do that with these people, or they just say no. And I'm still right where I am, but at least now I'm not trying to figure it out anymore, you know? Nice, Ryan. Hey, Bobby. Thomas here. Hey, how you doing? Yes, I'm late. Why do I insist on staying up till 5 a.m.? I don't know. I can't get no satisfaction. Good. Yeah, I know, man. You know, I have to stop myself from doing that because I used to do that. I used to work late into the night, but then I would just end up sleeping late and then it would kind of mess up my whole day. So I try not to do that anymore, which is easier because nobody else in my family is on a schedule like that. So I try and stay on everybody's schedule. It's just better. But nice to see you, or not. Kirsten. I feel like sometimes our ego pretends to be source. I don't know if it's. I don't know the answer to that. If that's a question, it could be. It's interesting, but I think what it is that we confuse the two more. I don't think that the ego is going like, let me pretend to be your inner being and so I can trick you. It's not really that. Your ego is your ego, and I think your ego doesn't even understand that there is source. You know, your ego, if your ego understood source, then your ego wouldn't be the ego. Your ego is just, the ego only understands your 3D surroundings and what we have at hand. Well, we got this tool and this tool and this tool. What can we build with these three tools? Well, we can't build the whole thing, but we could build something that kind of resembles it and half does what you want it to do and maybe is kind of fun, but at least it's kind of the thing. That's all your ego understands. We see the source, we see the ego, and we sometimes they go, and we can't tell which is which. So I don't think it's that the ego is pretending to be source. I think it's that we can't tell the difference. That's why the energy work and being self-aware is so important. You have to understand yourself enough to know, am I shooting myself or am I being gentle with myself? Is my dream collapsing in can't do it, or is my dream expanding? Am I screaming a million things that I should do in my ear, or am I whispering? It's hard to remember to ask yourself these questions in the moment, which is why we have to practice them when there's nothing going on. Because then when it is actually happening, we can tell the difference a little bit better. Or we can remember, oh, wait a minute, what am I doing? I'm talking to my ego again. I'm trying to figure out how to build this thing. I can't build this thing. Oh, inaction action is like when I get so frustrated I break up with my art. It's the worst feeling ever. Don't do that. Yeah, right, exactly. I don't know what to do next, so I'm going to do nothing. Right? I break up with my art. I break up with my boyfriend or girlfriend. I break up with my job. I quit. Right? You can't tell what to do, or you're just depressed. You're just like, I don't know what to do. I just literally don't know what to do. I feel like I'm just in the dark, all alone, completely, utterly helpless. That's inaction action to the nth degree. But it could be all kinds of degrees. It's a spectrum, you know, it's not just one place. It's a spectrum. Gee, I don't know what to do. Should I do this or should I do this? This might work. This might work. This is a good one. I do this with business things. I'm trying to build this thing for my business. I'm trying to create a product or a service or an offering of some kind. Should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? Well, people might like it better like this. Well, what if I did it priced like this? Or what if I built it like this? But I don't want to do that. I want to do this. They're both ego. They're both ego giving me two options, trying to make me fight over it. And it's ridiculous. And the source is just like, when you're done with that, take a nap, wake up, and the thought will be there. But it'll only be there for like a brief second. You'll be like, oh, what was that? You got to catch it. You got to look for it. You got to feel it. It's a feeling. It's not, you're not going to get a text message. You're not going to talk it over for a half an hour in your head. None of that's going to happen. Wow, this light is hot today. Your audio is not matching with your mouth all of a sudden. It's like this for other people or only me? I don't know. That sounds like a streaming issue. It could be you. It could be me. There's no way to know. Unless if everybody said it was happening to them, then it would probably be on my end or Facebook's end. I don't know. That stinks. I do inspired action whenever the source is blocked from letting my ego get in the way. Say this again. I do inspired action whenever the source is blocked from letting my ego get in the way. Oh, your source is now blocked because you let your ego get in the way. All right. Take a step back, have a conference with myself, and tell my ass to simmer down and let the universe do its work. Yeah, sometimes you just need to be your own parent and be like, time out, sit down, relax, stop doing all this stuff, and really think about what you feel the next step is. You can get there. The answer is always there. It's not like you have to wait a week for your inner being to be, oh, you ready? Oh, here it is. Your inner being's always giving it to you. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. It's right. Oh, you missed that one. Here's another one. You know, you're not gonna miss it, right? You're not gonna lose your chance. Your inner being's got 10 million ideas. It's unlimited. It just keeps coming at you. Damn, I missed it. That's all right. We'll start over. I don't mind. Have to catch the replay. Good evening, everyone, and salutations to Bobby Donahue, our host. Look at this hair. Oh, man, I'm a mess today. All of a sudden, it's August now, so it's like hotter than usual down here, but it's fine most of the time. I leave the door open, but during my live, I close the door and I turn on all these lights, and suddenly the temperature in the room goes up, and I start melting. I'm melting. Ryan, the source is always waiting for your ego to shut up. Yeah. You can tell your ego to shut up. You have the power to go, that's your job. That's what you have to do. And a lot of time, that's the action we have to take is just no. Relax. And then you can bring your ego along for the ride. Because a lot of times your ego is doing this to protect you. Your ego is like, well, don't dream too big because you dreamed big before and it didn't work out. Or that one over there dreamed big before and didn't happen for them. You know? So your ego is trying to protect you. But if you recall, there was one I did months ago. I called it Take Your Ego Along for the Ride. If you talk to your ego and you know, your ego, you can think of your ego as a separate person even. And just be like, look, I understand. You want to try it this way and you want to do it that way and you want it to happen by tomorrow. But I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to try this. And do me a favor. Try it with me. Let's just see what happens. If you do that, you can talk yourself into it and be like, okay, let's just see what happens. I'm just going to see what happens. I'm not going to, it's got to happen. I'm just going to see what happens. And if it doesn't happen, that doesn't mean it's never going to happen. It just means like that didn't make it happen immediately. Maybe it was a step. Maybe it was a new vantage point so I could see the actual way to make it happen. You know what I mean? But we don't know until we start doing the things the way our inner being says to do them. And your ego will go along with that if you ask. Only you. It's only you, Robin. Thank you, Melinda. I will restart my iPad after this to reset maybe, but not till this is done. Thank you. Well, Robin, I think that you... I'm not good at that. All right. Well, we can be done now. That was the last comment. And I'm going to split. thanks for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. And tomorrow is, what day is today? Tuesday. Wednesday. Yeah, tomorrow will be regular time. Thursday, I don't know yet. Friday and Saturday, I probably will not be doing Daily Fuel at all because I won't be around. But tomorrow, definitely. Thursday, most likely, I'm going to try and fit one in. But Friday and Saturday, probably not. No Daily Fuel. Great Daily Fuel. Thank you. Did you know that in the replay, your comments are closed captioned? Your comments are closed captioned. You mean not like this, but like actually closed captioned in the comments? I didn't know that. Yada, 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 yada. Subtitles. No, I didn't know that. See you later, guys. Trevor, you get the booby prize today. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.